From Joy and Ralph Ellis Stadium, it is the ICTN Game of the Week. It's homecoming for the Irving Tigers as they take on the Richardson Eagles. Hey everybody, Rob Willman with you along with Joe McCann tonight. And in this homecoming matchup, the Irving Tigers looking for their first win of the season. For the Richardson Eagles, these guys have put on some pretty good football as of late. They're much better than they've been in years past, and so the Irving Tigers will have their hands full, Joe, and I know they would love, the Irving Tigers would, to get that first win of the year right now in front of the homecoming crowd.
Absolutely, Rob. You know, you never like to look in the win column and see that zero, but Irving, they got a good shot tonight. You know, they came close a week ago. They had a lead in the fourth quarter against Irving MacArthur. Irving Mack came back and won that game on them. And you look at Irving's schedule the rest of the way. They got a couple good teams still to go with Pierce and Lake Highlands. So you look at this game tonight against Richardson. This might be their best shot to get that W before this season ends. And actually, Richardson was the last team they defeated in district play. That was their last district win. That was back in 2021. So a nice opportunity tonight for head coach Brett Nickerson and his team.
And take a look at Coach Nickerson right there. And the Richardson Eagles decided to receive. They're in the all-white. We'll go right to left on your screen. Now, this Richardson group, they took Lake Highlands, who leads the district. They took them into overtime. Coach told me before the ball game, Kendrick Holloway of Richardson said, hey, Rob, that was on me. He goes, I got too aggressive offensively. It backfired, and we lost in OT. So we're going to see exactly what this Richardson team is made of. They will get the football first. They have a pretty good offense. They pretty much even. The passer has thrown for over 1,000 yards. The running back over 800. So a balanced attack. And a little fair catch made for right there by number 84, which is Saram Tamaclo. And let's take a look at the weather as we start the ball game.
It got warm on us. It got back up to 90 degrees today. 90 degrees here at kickoff, 35% humidity. Winds coming out of the southeast at 11 miles an hour. But it is a nice, clear night, Rob. It's a beautiful night for football. I wish it was a little cooler. We was a little cooler last week, but I'll still take it.
We're a week away. Next week, albeit it's going to be wet. But they're predicting right now we're going to have about a 20-degree shift, and things will feel a little bit like winter. You're looking at the starting quarterback, Cole Gage, the junior, completing close to 50% of his passes. Jaden Pope, number 28, behind him, getting the nod tonight as the starting running back, although Donovan Ford is their workhorse. And what's a ball game without a few flags or two, eh? Let's see if we're going to move that 5 yards down to the 25. And that's where Richardson will set up shop here. The Eagles looking for that number 4 playoff spot, and now the officials are going to talk about it some more. Jonathan Vanderhoff is your referee in the white hat. Let's see what he has to say.
We need a chain guy to please report to the sideline. Chain guy, please report to the sideline.
Somebody missing from the sideline? Is that what that was? But here's your look at your officials for this evening. John Vanderhoff, as you said, is the referee. We're looking for the chain gang. That's what we don't have. That's what the delay is.
How
are we going to measure first downs?
Marker, but we need to recruit 2 guys pronto.
Well, while we're looking for the chains, again, your officials tonight, referee John Vanderhoff, as you said. Your umpire is Aaron Black. Your line judge tonight is Ryan Maxson. The back judge tonight will be George Bell. Harold Lathan Jr. will be a field judge, and your side judge tonight is Levi Thurman.
You saw Coach Brian Rogers. I still call him Coach. Athletic director's like, we had 2 guys. Where'd they go? On the sideline warming up for the Irving Tigers. That's their quarterback, Ibarra. He will have his hands full. I think we finally have a couple of volunteers or some official pro chain gangers.
I was worried they were going to have us do it.
Yeah, we could do both. Just put a GoPro on our hat, and away we go. First play right up the middle, not much there. As the Irving Tigers rise to the occasion, Julio Puente on the tackle.
Starters for the Richardson Eagles tonight, you got Chris Sellers at left tackle, Jacob Rosali at guard, Matthew Lewis, Mark Gold, and Joseph Lopez Padilla round out the offensive line. You mentioned Cole Cage already starting at quarterback. Donovan Ford, you said, is their workhorse at running back. Wide receivers, Michael Allen, Evan Tabora, Hudson Harder, and Cade Mayo is the tight end for the Eagles.
Yes, Kendrick Holloway, the head coach, is also the offensive coordinator. And here's one right up the gut by Pope. Pope's got a first down and more. He's dragged down from behind. Not until he gets inside the 40-yard line of the Irving Tigers. A simple play, nothing fancy, Joe, just right up the gut, and we've got a quick huddle, it looks like. Well, they're going to move it back some, but it appeared that the Eagles said, hey, move the chains and let's go again, and that's what they're going to do.
Go very little tempo here, trying to keep the defense
up tempo for sure. Pope, left side, plenty of room again. Dragged down by Chavez, number 41, but not until he gets a first down.
Defensively for the Irving Tigers tonight, you got Jesus Juarez, Arnold Perez, Ratana, and Victor Catanero on the defensive line. Christopher Alvarez, Jaden Alonso, Jose Palacios, and David Chavez are your linebackers. In the secondary, you got Eric Figueroa, David Perez-Diaz, Xavier Page, and Robert Ventura.
Now in at running back, Keyshawn Polk, a junior to the right side of Cage. He's throwing everyone at the Tigers, and again they go to a fake run, and they go right across the middle on a pass, and it's incomplete. Applying the pressure was Christopher Alvarez, who gets up a little gimpy-legged after the play, and we have an official's timeout to check on the linebacker who came in on the weak side trying to force the play for Cage, and Cage misses his first attempted pass of the night. And very up-tempo here in the early go for the Eagles.
I think Irving might have actually been happy to see Richardson go to a pass after those last two runs. Running game's working pretty well in the first two plays, but yeah, just might have just gotten tipped. Just the pass rush just threw off his pass just a little bit there, and he wasn't able to get a lot on that.
And Alvarez, you saw in that, he just came down a little gimpy-legged and probably twisted something in the process. You also noticed that Reuben Smith, number 76, who is the right tackle for Irving, also getting some early game action up front. The two big ones, Upshaw, number 70, and Smith, 76, who usually start as both tackles for this Tiger team, also going in defensively, playing double duty, if you will, and we saw that a lot last week against MacArthur, and they did a really good job of plugging up the middle and keeping the run game in check, although tonight, right now, the running game is on all cylinders for the Eagles here in their first offensive series of the ball game, and coming up favoring that left ankle perhaps.
And they were looking at his knee there, Rob, and he doesn't seem to be able to put any weight on it at all, so I'm not sure if we'll see him again tonight.
Yep. Hopefully he may bounce back, but you know, these young guys, we see that a lot in high school football. One play they're out, and 3 plays later you look up and the guy looks like he's never been hurt before. But we've got Pope, who's a backup that started. Polk, number 24, also back in there for the Eagles. And just like that, wrapped up by number 70, Upshaw. We just talked about him as Jaden Pope, who started this game at tailback.
Tigers bringing a little bit of heat up front here. And, yeah, you can tell it there. Upshaw just got right through the line, and running back had absolutely nowhere to go on that play.
It's a pretty seasoned front five for Richardson. They have 3 seniors and 2 juniors starting up front offensively on that big offensive line. 2 receivers set to the top, and Gage will go that direction, but he throws a little bit behind Polk. He can't make the play, and that'll stop the clock. And this is 4-down territory, I believe, for Richardson in this case. They lost, like we said earlier, they lost a heartbreaker last week as we look at the play here, and the
looks like the running back got it in his hands. Just couldn't haul it in.
They lost a heartbreaker last week in overtime, 28-21 to Lake Highlands. Despite outgaining Lake Highlands, 350 to 335, they had no turnovers either. Here we go. Cage down across the middle, has a man, touchdown. How did that happen? Number 3 hauls it in to Bora, and it's a touchdown, Eagles. He was double covered, and both the secondary players, I think, overran the football. And Tabora with his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Eagles strike first.
At 4th and 12, just going for all of it there. It was a great throw by Harding. I believe, the ball may have been a little bit behind the receiver, but Tabora made a great adjustment there, hauling in for the touchdown.
So the Eagles strike first at the 9:45 mark of the first quarter. They're going to go for 2 in the Wildcat. Right-hand side going in pretty easily was Miles Buckley. The H-back, the junior, gets the 2 points, and it's 8-0 in favor of the Eagles.
Boy, it may look easy on that 2-point play there by Miles Buckley.
So look at the touchdown again and just see how close the Irving secondary was to coming down with this. Look, double covered.
Yeah, throws in a double covered on 4th and 12. You might as well get it up there. But yeah, it's just, you said it there. Both the defenders kind of overran the ball. I know that they got their eyes on the ball, and then the receiver again, Tabor, just made a great adjustment, held up, let the defenders go past them, and hauled it in. 6 points. Now it's 8 points.
That was both the safeties, Xavion Page and David Perez Diaz, that, to be frank, had good coverage on the guy. They just, I think, probably just lost contact of where the football was located. The receiver didn't, and Tabora comes down with it, and it's an early lead for these Eagles. The coach told me before the ball game, he said, I really don't think there will be a letdown for my group of kids after losing that heartbreaker to Lake Highlands. He goes, I feel like I got a special group of kids here. And it took about 2 games into the season where they really decided, hey, we've got something here. They started the season losing, and then they just skunked Brian Adams 51-0, and things started to click for them. Gonzalez will kick it off, and it will be fielded, I believe, by Proctor. Inside the 5, he doesn't get back to the 20, and that's not what the Irving Tigers need to happen to get things going offensively. They can't play behind the chains. They've got to keep it manageable, and we'll see what happens offensively. That was Proctor, the freshman. A lot of newcomers, a lot of youngsters on this team.
Yeah, you mentioned the heartbreak for Richardson last week, but they still have plenty to play for. You mentioned they're still hunting for a playoff spot right now, so Richardson should still be plenty motivated to get this W tonight because they want to stay in position to maybe get in that top 4 and maybe try to steal a playoff spot.
So here we go, the first offensive series for these Tigers. And the thing is, though, the Eagles have 2 tough ones to finish out the season. So they've got a long row of hoe, and here's a misdirection that goes nowhere. And we'll take a look at the offensive starters.
For the Irving Tigers up front, you got D'Anthony Upshaw. You saw him on defense just a minute ago. Saul Reyes, Nunez Ferrero, Jonathan Reyes, and Ruben Smith doing the blocking. You got Xavier Ibarra. You mentioned him at quarterback. Adriel Pena will be their workhorse at running back. Kevin Flores, and then Patrick Carlos at tight end. Napoleon Proctor and David Garcia are the wide receivers. Yeah, really some kind of miscommunication on that first running play there went absolutely nowhere, so they're already in the hole here on the second down.
That was a very successful offensive play for them last week against MacArthur, but things are going to be a little tough. That is Pena, number 2.
So I got a flag on the play.
Trying to run up the middle. And you know what? The flags are usually pretty plentiful in these games.